What's up, everyone? Silas back again. And today we're going to be going over the spiritual effects of alcohol and the damage that it does to our spirit. I know in the last two videos I went over the effects that it has on the brain and the effects that it has on the body. And I'm going to just rehash some of those facts really quick. And just to give you guys a relative idea, besides the spirit, of all the effects that it's really going to have on you. So, long-term effects on the body: diminishes brain matter, can cause alcohol hepatitis, memory loss, cirrhosis, cancer, high blood pressure, stroke, weight gain, digestive issues, and it can hinder brain cell growth. So, yeah, that's all pretty self-explanatory. Psychological effects and disorders induced by alcohol: depression, anxiety disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and more. So, when you're degenerating your brain cells and you're ruining cell pathways in your brain and neuron pathways in your brain, it's going to be hard for your brain to function normally. So, of course, that can lead to psychological issues, and that can lead to a lot of mental health issues. Just chemically in the brain. It's not even, from our lifestyles. It can just be from drinking too much or ingesting too much of one substance. Last but not least, the spiritual effects. So, I'll start on this side. So, alcohol and chemistry, so also known as chemical alchemy. Alcohol is known as an extractor or separator for the essence of an object. And so it does the same thing to our bodies, extracting the essence of us, our souls, or our energies. So that's what alcohol does. It really kind of extracts your essence and makes you vulnerable. Direct spiritual effects. It makes people violent. It impairs judgment, and it strains all bodily functions. It lowers your vibration. It creates holes in your aura, and it makes you susceptible to outside influences as well as energies and entities. So that would make sense, in my opinion. Just from my own experience drinking heavily, I find that my senses are dulled down and that I become increasingly sensitive to what other people say, and I'm not able to articulate myself. Sometimes I don't even recognize people, and they look like someone completely different. And it just makes you, it just dumbs you down. It really kind of, not only that, but it makes your body overwhelmed by the amount of energies and all these other things that are constantly being loaded onto your psyche when you're drinking heavy amounts. And that's why people get egotistical, or they get rowdy or rambunctious when they drink, because that part of them is activated through spiritual entities. Normally if you're not drinking, those parts of you don't come out, but if you're drinking, sometimes these entities can influence you to act a certain way. Not only that, but when you drink heavily, a lot of dark energies can attach onto you and not let go. So even after you're done drinking, even 2 or 3 days after you're done, and you've got all the alcohol out of your system and your hangover is over, that dark energy will still be latched onto you, and you can still carry it around with you. And that's why sometimes we feel so down in the dumps after, a weekend of drinking, even if it's later in the week. So overall, alcohol, from what I've seen in the research that I've done and my own experience with it, it is something really to be completely avoided if you truly value your psychological, physical, and spiritual health, because it does no good for us. I mean, there's a little bit of research showing that it can reduce hypertension, and it can level out your LDL levels, but that's short-term, small use. Most of the use that we see in day-to-day society, in today's society, is chronic and heavy usage, which is, it can lead to, like I just listed off, depression, anxiety. You've got weight problems. You've got like emotional problems, you've got hormonal problems, and it's all stemming from this one substance. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I guess I'm just making this video to remind everyone of the dangers of it, because I think we all kind of get used to it and we see other people do it, and part of the psychological effect of that is, like, you know, wanting to be accepted into a group or a society because everyone else is doing it. But just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean that it's good for you. You know, just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good for you. And I'm going to go over that in another video too, just that whole concept. But anyways, that's all I got to say about that.